Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast for, would you believe it, episode 37 of the podcast here on YouTube and Spotify. Thanks to everybody who continually listens and supports us. It really means a lot. But today we're back. We're talking about obviously the Old Firm preview, which is going to be the main segment. We'll talk about a few other things, being the Hibs game. We have got an instant match reaction on our YouTube channel about that, but we'll talk briefly about that again. We'll talk about form after winning the league, and we'll talk about Nathan Patterson, who's been the main guy in the press for the past few weeks. 19-year-old right back. He's been getting absolutely pelters off everybody in Scottish football for his actions, but we'll touch on that as well. But if you do enjoy the podcast, if you're listening on Spotify, share it about wherever. And if you're listening or watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and then follow the socials on the screen. So the Hibs game happened, but we're back into league action after the one each Old Firm game. We had obviously a great performance against Cove Rangers to get us into the next round of the Cup. So we're in a good place currently. I feel obviously the performance could have been a bit better at Hibs. Hibs maybe majority of the chances they could have maybe on another day beat us, but I've seen a lot of press and people in the media come out and say every single time we've played Hibs this season, Hibs have been the better team. And let me just disregard that right now. Hibs have played all right against us, I must say. They've gave a good game for the 4 times we've played them, but you look at the results, so 2 each draw, fair enough. They maybe on another day could have beat us there. We could have beat them. 1-0 wins. We beat them. Who cares how good they played? And then the other day again we won, even though they played great. So I'd just like to get your opinions on that, because I've seen a lot of that floating about, and it's just trying to bring negativity towards Rangers seasons again when they're really clutching at straws.
Listen, mate, see, to be honest with you, that 2-2 game, I would actually argue we were the better team to come back and get a hang me, because honestly, that wasn't one of the best games. But no, I don't know. Obviously, they played better than us, but the results speak for themselves, from my opinion. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't really matter how well you've played, the results are the main thing. So we dismiss that straight away.
You can hold your hands up and say, I know a lot of Rangers fans maybe would, even if Hibs play well, they would have the blue tinted glasses on and not own up to it. But I feel like Hibs have probably given us the better games this season anyway. But the results, as you say, they speak for themselves. And we disregard that straight away. But we talked about it obviously in the YouTube channel after the game. Ryan Kent probably stole the show with his goal. That was the main thing in the game. It's getting talked about again, being up there, the goals of the season. And I would just like to know, where does it rank for you up there?
Tough one, mate. There's so many goals of the season, really. I couldn't, honestly, right now, I couldn't give you an honest answer. Maybe if we've getting our obviously international break coming up, maybe we do sort of top 10 or what have you on goals this season. But right now, I honestly couldn't tell you, mate. There's so many, which is a good thing, to be honest, that there's so many goals that are contenders there, but I couldn't tell you right away.
We've been spoiled for choice with the amount of goals, great goals we've scored this season. I definitely think it's up there. Just with the fact of the goal, I mean, you can see it as soon as he collects the ball. He's in a positive way to go and run forward, beat 2 men, and then curl it right into the bottom corner. It's not an easy finish at all. But it does remind me again a lot of that one against Aberdeen, where he sort of picked up the ball for the back in the pitch and then just took a run, got it past a few players and scalped it, ended up in the bottom corner. But I'd say definitely when we get to the point of doing videos where we're ranking the goals, it will be up there. Off the top of my head, Tavernier is the one that sticks out for me straight away anyway in the league, the free kick. But I do believe that one will be up there come the end of the season anyway. So I was impressed with Ryan Kent at the weekend. Hopefully he can take that form again into the weekend, because we're going to need him, Morelos, Roof, whoever, Hadji, who starts to have massive games come Sunday. So I think the main thing with the league form is just sort of try to stay unbeaten. Like, although we want to win the game, it's like the form has been a bit sort of so since we've done it. And I feel maybe that's been in a bit of my mood as well. Not being like right up for Rangers games as I usually am, because like obviously the league's won, the league games are just sort of ticking by over until we get the trophy in the end of the season. But Going into which is going to be another game on Sunday, which is going to be massive. We're going to need to turn up. It's probably going to be the biggest game of this sort of mini season we're having currently. I would just like to get your thoughts on obviously the form up until or after we've won the league. Sorry, we've get beat off Slavia Prague obviously in the European run. We drew with them. We drew with Slavia Prague again. But we've won against Cove Rangers and stuff like that. I think the performance needs to be improved. Going into a game like Celtic, I know they won 6-0 against Livy. The league's not won yet. Let me say that the league's not won yet. They get a good result against Livingston, so they're going into the Old Firm game with a lot of confidence. But I just want to get your thoughts on the form. Like, how do you feel? Do you feel it's dipped off since we've won the league, and do you feel it needs a sort of like a bit of motivation again to be better?
Well, they better be motivated for the weekend. I'll tell you that, mate. They better be up for it. But no, I would agree. I just think the performances have to be better. The game of the weekend wasn't the best, as you say. It was about getting the result, but for me, I'd like a bit more. Do you know what I mean? Hibs are there for the taking after that Ryan Kent goal. I would like 3 or 4 more, just to really show the dominance. But no, I would say they need to definitely improve. Maybe I think we're at our best when we've got 2 games to play. When we play the weekend and then we play, obviously, the European thing, I think that's when we're at our best because it's constant. But I think we have to take into consideration the amount of games that we have played this season, even the qualifiers for Europe or what have you. Like, we've played a lot of football, so at the end of it, it's going to start to tail off a wee bit. Obviously, some of the players are going to European Championship, so their minds are maybe starting to think elsewhere. But they better not be thinking about that kind of mentality at the weekend. Still one trophy to be won, boys, and we need to get the double. That's what I want. I want the double, but no, I definitely say the performances need to improve, and hopefully they do it the weekend, mate. Hopefully we get a decent performance.
Yeah, I felt like maybe obviously we had our dips in form, but we still won games. Like for January, February, all like tough months for us, beating like Hibs and Celtic and all that. We didn't play like great. I think we were a bit spoiled for the start of the season up until Christmas because we were unbelievable, and I feel like we're just expecting that every game now. It's obviously a great habit to have, playing well all the time, but you just want that sort of level of performance to be back. Although we have won the league, there's still obviously the unbeaten record. I know you've said you didn't really bother about the unbeaten record too much. You want to go and win the Scottish Cup, but it's still an incentive for the team. Although we get the win against Hibs, I mean, you just want the performance to be a bit better throughout the full 90 minutes. I mean, we started okay, and then we sort of grew into the game a bit, tailed off in the first half. Hibs had a lot of great chances, and then came out, get the second, and sort of dropped back off again. I don't know. And then Hibs score. It's maybe just I don't know. I think it's due to winning the league and being comfortable with the 2-goal lead, just to try and see the game over, because you don't need to overcommit. But I think me and you were just always looking for that sort of great performance throughout the full 90.
No, definitely, mate. But at the end of the day, man, football's a results business, and we're getting the results. That's all that matters. It's obviously we'd like a bit more, but at the end of the day, it's a result business, and we're picking the results up.
Aye, and I think it's a good thing as a football fan to be able to get the result and the performance to match with. We have been spoiled this season, so as long as we get a performance on Sunday, I'll be more than happy, to be honest with you. If this Scottish Cup run obviously is massive for everybody involved. So, hopefully the performance looks up, but hopefully we're still getting the results that have been. So, the next thing I wanted to bring up is Nathan Patterson's whole situation. So, as we all know, everybody that's listened to the podcast, we've documented it for the very start. Nathan Patterson and these other friends obviously broke some COVID regulations. He was straight back into the team a week after it. He then got held for a ban where he would get banned for the rest of the season. Rangers appealed that, which I thought that was unbelievable. Just pure shithousey. Like, Rangers are like, nah, we'll do what we want. Just appeal it, get him to play. He played against the Cove Rangers, also played at the weekend. He's now available for the Old Firm game as well before he's seeding. So the whole uproar has been Celtic fans, even John Kennedy, the Celtic manager currently, has came out in the press conference using that and basically said he's obviously uncomfortable. He's annoyed at the fact that Nathan Patterson hasn't been banned yet, or like they've obviously he's allowed to play the Celtic game anyway. And players that he had, let's obviously Ball and Golly at the start of the season, was just axed completely after he'd done something similar. So I feel like Celtic are absolutely shit scared of our 19-year-old right back, because I think maybe they're thinking is, oh, Patterson's going to be banned, Tavernier's injured, Balogun's injured. Who do they actually play at right back? So I think they were all hoping that we wouldn't have anybody but Patterson free to play. He's got everybody absolutely shiting themselves, apparently, John Kennedy and co. So I'd just like to get your thoughts on that. Do you feel John Kennedy's comments are like justified? Do you understand where he's coming from? Or do you feel he's just trying to... Do you feel but deep down he is actually scared of Nathan Patterson playing against him?
First off, I would say it's completely not like different what Patterson and our players have done compared to Bonangoli. He went to a different country and then come back, so kind of different there. Obviously, he's also going to say, "Oh, he should be banned." Thing me, you know what I mean, quicker than what's been dished out. But it's not Rangers' fault. That's the people who are in charge of governing the game. I guess it's not our fault. I honestly, as you say, mate, shit house for Rangers just to appeal it. Fair play. I don't know. I wouldn't say he's scared. I don't think he's scared of Patterson. He's a fantastic young player, and he should be, for me, be going with Scotland in the summer. That's a different story. But no, he's definitely. I think it's just to make sure when he's gone that when Tav can come straight back into the team. I think it's just to recover for Tav. But I don't know, man. I feel like for me, I think it's just one of the things where obviously we know what he's done and he should be punished for it. But at the same time, it's not our fault or his fault that the punishment hasn't been dealt out sooner. I don't get these whole having to go to like court things and all that. I don't get that at all. Like, just ban them there and there. But I think we just need to take it to our advantage, mate, and obviously play him, give him the game time till Tav comes back. But for me, mate, no, I just think he should be punished. But at the same time, it's not his fault. It's not our fault that they can't do it sooner or quicker. And I don't know, mate. I just play him. Just play him.
No.
For me, I would just play him.
You're absolutely spot on with what you said there. Like, Rangers have basically, as Gerrard said in his press conference, was probably one of his best this season, where he came out and he compared the incidents to Nathan Patterson and stuff towards the Celtic Dubai trip, where nothing was ever happened with that. Like, obviously, you've seen clear photos and evidence of what they had done over there, and Gerrard was obviously, it's not any of my business, but there was no punishment towards that. So that's what they're like, appealing Nathan Patterson's thing, due to that not being punished. But there's a bit of a miscommunication in what actually is acceptable, what isn't, what's punishable and what isn't. Like, understand that for every manager in the league's perspective, where they might have players banned for certain stuff, but Patterson's had this long amount of time to be able to play until he's hearing that. Obviously, that is not Rangers' fault. He said, Gerrard says in his press conference as well, that all these players were banned within the club and fined or whatever they were spoken to. It was just up to the authorities, and we're now a couple of weeks going to be after the Old Firm game until that hearing actually happens on the appeal. So it's incredible for Rangers. But aye, go on.
No, I'm just saying it's a common theme here. The top body not doing their job properly. It's the same thing. I hate to talk about it again, but the same with Kamara. Like, that should have been done and dealt with. It's not been. It's still getting dragged on. Same with Patterson. Patterson stayed. It's not like Patterson went to Ibiza or something. Do you know what I mean? He stayed in the country. He's went to some wee lassie's gaff. Fair play to the lad. But probably not the best thing to do during a pandemic. But Celtic have went to Dubai. They've had players go to Spain and then come back. You know what I mean? They're travelling abroad. They're, well, probably rules aren't as stingmy in Dubai as they are over here. So for me, I agree with what Gerrard saying. They've got every right to appeal it. If they've been dealt with in-house, Gerrard spoke to them. They've been fine. You can tell Gerrard has a special relationship with Patterson, that he sees that there's a player there and he wants to help mould him. You can see it. But for me, if they've been dealt with in house, like they've been punished, just play them. I would just play them, as I'm saying, just play them.
Aye, and that's all we can.
Until
That's all we can do.
exactly, but until you've got Tav back, just play him. That's what I would honestly. If he's going to be, he's supposed to be what was he supposed to be banned for this whole split, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole. I mean, it's so like I don't know. It's just as I say, it's just the top body not doing their job properly.
Aye, and that's, as you said, we touched on the Kamara incident. That's what it has been throughout the full season, whether it be COVID business, whether it be obviously racism and all that. It's not been dealt with fast enough, quick enough. All the punishments haven't been good enough, you could say. And I do understand, as I said, every manager who is disgruntled by not only the Patterson situation, but every other situation that's happened, because we need more clarity in terms of why people get certain bans. Like Jones and Edmondson were banned for 7 games each when they done the same thing that Patterson has now done, and Patterson has still been allowed to play. So there is a definite miscommunication with what is allowed and what isn't. So hopefully, I don't know if it'll ever happen, but hopefully the governing bodies from above get their sort of house in order and will be able to give us this information, so we can actually talk about it and report it, because the clubs have no idea anymore about what is a ban, why is he banned for that amount of time. Like things with penalty decisions, and like when Gerrard was sent up to stands in Livy, like why? Like, he was just voicing his concern about an incident and he's banned for the touchline and all that kind of stuff. So that is a topic for another day. But Patterson can play, leading us on to our Old Firm now, the Old Firm preview. The title of this episode is going to be the biggest game of the season. Is it for you?
It is definitely the biggest game of the season, mate. It's a chance to go and get the double. It's a chance to win a cup that for me personally, I'm desperate to win. We've been so close previous years with a lesser squad. Now that we've got a competitive squad, I feel like we can do it. And we've got the home advantage. So for me, it is the biggest game of the season now.
Aye, and I would agree with that. I feel this is just different for all the other Old Firms throughout the season. You could make an argument for every one of them being important in their own way, but I feel like this one just is levels above everyone. Celtic, obviously, their thoughts to this game, the league's lost. They can only go and beat us in the Scottish Cup and go and win that as their silverware for the season. So they've got the incentive of doing that. Whereas we've got, obviously, playing at Ibrox. We've got a trophy that we've missed out in for a few years, and it's ending Celtic's dominance within that competition at the same time. So to be able to do that, and especially not even like a semi-final or a final in the 4th round of the Cup, is going to be a massive statement for going forward. Taking out probably the second to win it. It's either going to be Celtic or Rangers, I feel. So taking one of them out for the other teams in the competition is going to be great as well, because they'll fancy their chances. But for Rangers or Celtic, they've got to look at that as right, we're going to go and win this cup now. So for me, massive game. Now confirmed to be obviously Sunday. It was supposed to be Saturday at 4 o'clock. Now confirmed to be on the Sunday at 3. So, aye. What do we expect for this game then? Obviously, we talked about the form going into it. Celtic have had a win against Falkirk and a massive win against Livingston. So they'll be right up for it. They'll feel that they're in a good place, playing some decent football. Obviously, they took their first points off us this season a few weeks ago as well. But this is a whole different kettle of fish. We're at Ibrox. We've got something to really go and play for here. Whereas the last Old Firm game we didn't really. It was like a training session. So what do you expect? Do you expect Rangers to come out the blocks fast? Do you expect them to go after Celtic? Or do you expect maybe Celtic them to invite Celtic onto us and try and hit them whenever we can? What do you think the game plan, the tactics of this game is going to be?
I mean, if anything, I would just follow the blueprint for the last couple. I just play Goldson up front, mate. Al McGregor and no, I young. No, I don't know. I just it's 90 minutes. Anything can happen in a cup. Obviously the winner of this isn't really guaranteed the trophy, but we're the favourites to win it. Whoever goes through, I would say it's going to be a hang kind of game, but there's no fans there yet again, so it's probably just going to be. I don't know about you. I just feel like they've been flat. Like there's no that intensity there. But
Aye.
honestly, I just think we just need to play our game. I just hope the lads are up for it. I just hope they're ready to go. For it, their defense is weak, mate. To be honest, I would say their defense doesn't compare to our defense, in my opinion. So there's no real comparisons there. But for me, you've just got to attack them, just go right at them. Which I expect for young Patterson, who can play, which is we've been talking about, which is fantastic. Imagine he scores a goal. Imagine how raging they'd be if
I see.
Patterson gets
Honestly, all I've been thinking about is Patterson scores, right, and then say that last 5 minutes, say it's 1-0 to Rangers, Zungu comes on, scores a header or something. Like that would literally be that's written in the stars. Like they two scoring against Celtic after all that's happened. But I agree with what you're saying. We need to show up, be the best version of ourselves, and obviously play our game. We can't sort of adapt that for any team. We've went against Slavia Prague, played the same way we always do. Antwerp, Benfica, all these massive teams that we've played throughout the season. We've never sort of changed our game plan at all, and it shouldn't be no different. We need to turn up, yes, and I feel we will, due to what's on the line. We've got a full strength squad, apart from obviously a few, Tavernier, Ryan Jack, Balogun's injured, so everybody else, as far as I know, is available. And I expect us to again sort of go for Celtic in the midfield areas where we seem to find the most joy at times, although we haven't got Ryan Jack there, which is obviously, he's always a big player in Old Firm games. They're going to obviously, I think, play Brown, Turnbull and McGregor in there, so pretty strong midfield to come up against, but anytime we have come up against it, we've sort of got the better of it. Turnbull's the one maybe that's had a bit of joy recently against us. Obviously get an eye for goal, we can pick a pass across or whatever, so he's definitely going to be one to watch. But I feel like this game is going to be one either by set pieces. I mean, if you remember back to our remember back, what am I talking about? Think back to our other games within this season. Every goal's been a set piece, pretty much. So I think they're going to try and exploit that as much as they can because they are vulnerable. Their defence is shocking. They've not been able to sort of show that issue up all season. And I feel that they're going to need to come out and try to attack us. So I feel we'll get a lot of joy hitting them on the counter attack when they've got so many men flooding forward as well. So that's how I feel the game's going to go. What were you going to say though?
No, I was just going to say, who's that lad that they're all going on about now? Was he Welsh or something in it? Is that who they're all?
Stephen Welsh. He's played. I think he played the last Old Firm game. He played the first one of the season. I played against him actually when he went to St Andrews High School, and we played against them. We played against them up there when we used to play with primary schools and all that. So, Stephen Welsh, mate, if you're watching,
you're shy. Is that your claim? Yeah.
No, he's an alright centre half.
I agree with you that the game will probably maybe set pieces might decide this game, but I'm just really personally, I'm just hoping that we turn up because as we've said, the last performances haven't play Scott right. That's what I'm saying right now. Play Scott right. Just play him. I want Scott right in the team. And I just really want to go for it, man. It's 90 minutes, as I say, a cup game, one-off game. Just go for it. Nothing to lose. For me, anyway. Just go for it. Get the win. Get through. I want this cup so bad, mate. To be honest with you, I really want to do the double this season more than going unbeaten. For me personally, I'd rather do the double than go unbeaten. I obviously I would love to go unbeaten. Look at the stats and everything that we've done. It'd be fantastic. But for me, getting the double is more important than going unbeaten.
Nah, well, for me, I understand what you're saying, but I want to go for both of them. I want to go unbeaten and I want to win the cup. I don't feel that there's any reason why this team this season can't do that. Because we've had rough schedules where we've had Europa League games and then playing in the league, back to league games midweek and all that. We've had a rough schedule this year, and I feel that we dealing with that all season in the way we have. This team's well equipped to be able to go and win the Scottish Cup and go unbeaten in the league. So I'm confident that we can hopefully do both. I'm excited for this game. It's not really kicked in as of yet. Obviously, we're recording this Tuesday, so we've still got 5 days or something to wait. 3 o'clock as well. So it's going to be a long sort of wait for this game. But there's no secret. We need to be at our very best. Everybody's going to be up for it. Celtic are going to be up for it. It's a cup tie at the end of the day. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a really good game, actually. Maybe the other ones this season haven't been great, but I think it's actually going to be a good game for with both teams competitive. I think there's going to be goals in it. And I think we're going to have a winner in Rangers, but that's all I'll say about that. Scottish Cup, definitely the main focus. I agree with you.
You've just cussed it now, mate. It's going to be an awful game.
We'll see. I've got the feeling in my gut. I've got the feeling in my gut with this one that it's going to be a proper cup tie. Both teams need to really go for it. There's nothing on the line, so both teams need to go for it to be able to go and progress to something that's going to be big to them for the rest of the season. So, the main focus for both clubs.
No, definitely, and it's just to add to that, mate. Sorry, but it's all, as you say, mate. It's a massive game for Celtic, especially Mr. Kennedy. If he wants to also get the job permanent. I was about to do the Mr. Kennedy, but I thought about it. I was like, nah, I didn't. But no, obviously for him, it's a massive game in terms of if he wants to get that job. Obviously, Eddie Howe's the main man that's been linked to it, but if he beats us and then goes on to win that, it surely puts him in a position maybe to be favoured to get it. So just want to add that in there, mate. Like, to be honest, but as I say, it's just for me, it's just so important to do the double this season. As I say beforehand, we've had chances to win that Scottish Cup on a lesser squad, and this time I feel like we can do it. If we beat Celtic, I feel like we can do it. So who's your team for it then? What's the team lineup?
So that is the next thing on the agenda. Team prediction for me, it's going to be. I think you're going to agree with me with this one. So we're going to go McGregor, Patterson, Goldson, Hollander, Barisic, Davis, Kamara, Aribo, Roof, Kent, and Morelos. You said Scott Wright earlier on. I do get what you mean with him coming into this game. He's got pace, directness. Him and Kent on both sides terrorising their defence sounds like a really good thing. But maybe with the amount Celtic will commit into this game and the amount of energy they'll have maybe in the latter stages of the game, Scott Wright would be a good move. Maybe 60, 65 minutes. Get on, fresh legs, a lot of pace. Could give their defence a really torrid time. So what do you think then? What would be your 11? Do you agree with that one?
The only thing I disagree with is probably Roof. I'd take Roof out and put Wright in. But for me, I've got a gut feeling Stevie's going to play Scott Wright. He's going to. If he played Scott Wright, I'd love him for that. But I feel like he's going to play Arfield, mate. I've just got a gut feeling he's going to play Arfield. I swear. See, when it comes down to this, I just feel like he's going to play Arfield in this game. For me, as you say, I'd stick with the same back four. McGregor, midfield wise, 100%. But I just feel like he's going to play Arfield in this game. I don't know why. I've just got a gut feeling like yourself with the W, Jack. I've got a gut feeling that Scotty Arfield's going to be playing this game.
I mean, Scott Arfield's been a weird one recently since he's come back. His injury, he's no done much. Obviously, he's had a great first half of the season, but after he came back for that injury, he's not really been the same player. And every time I've seen him since, I don't know, he's just looked a yard off pace every time. He doesn't look himself. So personally, I would like to stay away from that, but it wouldn't surprise me again if Gerrard put him in.
That's just a feeling I've got, but I would just love to play Scott Wright, mate. It's not even just because we watched him play, the Cov Rangers game, last cup game. But for me, he's just, I don't want all this talky like it's going to take some time to think. Like, he's played at this level, he's played for Aberdeen, he knows, do you know what I mean, what the league's like. So I don't know. I would just chuck him in, man. He does look like a really good player, and as I say, as you said there, having him and Ryan Kent just run at their defence, I feel their defence would crumble. Morelos getting the goals, hopefully, but I feel like their defence would just crumble with the two of them running at it.
No, I feel like that's a good idea to have. The two of them obviously providing such a directness, pace. Obviously, they've got good distribution as well, where they can find Morelos in the box and stuff like that. But I feel like Gerrard's going to go with what he knows in this game, and I feel that he's going to try and get his goal threats on the pitch all at one time. And I think Roof will start due to that. He can pop up out of nowhere and get a goal. You've seen how versatile he is, where he can interchange with Morelos as well. One of them can play out wide and in the middle. He's versatile with the amount of goals he scores, obviously with his head. Can make a goal out of nothing, as I said. He's got the range of scoring a screamer.
Everywhere.
Aye. So I feel like Roof could come into this one and start.
No, 100%, mate. He probably will, but for me, as I said to you in like the Hibs review, like reaction, I just prefer Roof in the middle. You know what I mean? I just prefer him in there personally. But I mean, as you're saying, they're both very versatile, so it is what it is at the end of the day. As long as they win, that's the main thing for me.
No, I look forward to the team prediction or the team confirmed coming out before the game on Sunday at 3:00. So that'll put all your superstitions to bed. But I've put down Celtic's team as well. Actually, here, if we want to touch on this, Celtic are probably going to go away. It's looking like a 4-3-3 or a diamond. Well, seeing Edward up front. So they've got Scott Bain in goals. John Joe Kenny, Welsh, Ayer, Greg Taylor, Brown, Turnbull, McGregor, El Yunusi, Edward, and Christie. Probably would have been James Forrest, but he's picked up an injury, as I've read, in the game they played at the weekend. So he could be a doubt going into this one. I feel like they're going to go with that diamond, though. El Yunusi's been in great form, actually. Looking at his record, he scored 2 the weekend there again. He scored against Falkirk, he scored against Rangers. So he's got decent form now. Edward's always a threat, as we've seen for his many years up here. But apart from that team doesn't really scare me at all. It feels like a team that we can go out, hopefully dismantle what we've done in the past, and hopefully send us on our way. But is there anybody in that team that you personally think could give us some problems?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be scared of any team, to be honest with you, mate. But players who, for me, probably make you a bit nervous are probably players like Edward, and Turnbull, those kind of lads. But I mean, maybe previous years you would say something like Ryan Christie, but it seems not to be having. I don't know. It seems a bit mental with him. It seems like in his head that he's maybe not. Maybe he's on the beach. But no, there's nobody there really for me. Do you know what I mean? It's turn your squad up, mate. The thing I was going to ask you there was, what was it? It was McLaughlin. I was going to ask you, do you think he might give the cup game to McLaughlin just because I don't know if he's made him maybe the keeper for the cups or whatever, but I just think maybe he might play McLaughlin in there and might surprise a couple of us.
I don't think so. I think even with Gerrard in the past, when Foderingham was here, it was either his first season or the last season. Foderingham was playing in the cup, and then it came to playing a big game in the cup, and we put McGregor in. So, although it's nice to have a cup keeper as well, he's going to, as I said, even with the Scott Wright stuff, like obviously started last week, he could maybe come in. But I feel like he's definitely going to go with the strongest 11 he can put out, especially with it being against Celtic. I think maybe in the next rounds, depending on if we go through or if we draw anybody, he might sort of do that with the keeper and a bit of rotation. But I feel like right now it's just all about winning this game, progressing to the next way, and I think Gerrard will just use what he's used to and the strongest team he can. So important bringing that up though, because I forgot what McLaughlin actually played in the last round.
Oh, listen, he's for me, he's an unsung hero. Like people seem to be just forgetting about him. Everton, I mean, I can't even remember off the top of my head what's it like 12 clean sheets or something. Like for me, he's been a top goalkeeper. I was questioning when we signed him. I was like, what for Sunderland? Like, what a goalkeeper he is, by the way. I just thought I'd bring it up anyway. I just feel like he's getting a bit forgotten about. Like, and for me, he's just been superb.
Aye, good point to make actually. But rounding up the episode, then we just the Celtic team looking at it. Edward and El Yunusi for me, anyway, are the two to keep your eye on. We've seen in the last game that they can provide a lot of problems. Edward, obviously, he's got tricky feet. Nearly won a penalty last time. El Yunusi obviously scored, provided a decent threat as well. So they're going to be the two to watch. Definitely, they can provide it for Celtic. But I feel like if we are at our best, if we turn up and show why, again, we are champions, we want to go and win this cup more than them, I don't think we should have a problem with when Celtic have to throw at us. But it's going to be a really interesting game. We've not really seen an Old Firm Cup tie like this for a long time. with it not being at Hampden and stuff like that. So it's going to be an interesting one. No score prediction today, just Rangers. Please go out and win this game. Please send us on our way. Hopefully a nice cup run. But we look forward to the game on Sunday anyway. So that is everything that I've put down in the agenda for the day to talk about in today's episode. It's been like I feel like the weeks without Rangers playing midweek is a bit slow at times. There's not much coming out, it being the end of the season as well. So I still appreciate everybody for listening to the episodes and all that, even though it is the end of the season. There's not much to obviously talk about, but it's a big game coming up anyway. So hopefully you enjoyed the episode. Is there anything else you would like to touch on just before we wrap up?
There is indeed, Jack boy. There is indeed. I obviously thank people for listening to the episode and that, but just something. Just wanted to give a wee shout out. Wee teddy bear pin things.
Teddy bear pins.
Ones and the get Tav and Keymar and get Alfredo with his mad picture hanging here I've got here, but you can't really see it, but get a wee Alfredo here. But I just want to give him a wee shout out, man, because they are absolutely sensational, the quality on them. The price that you pay for them, mate, is absolutely perfect. Absolutely top dog.
Aye, nice one actually. Obviously the pins are good quality. I've seen obviously he sent the photos in them and I've followed them on Twitter and stuff like that. So if anybody listening this far in the episode or watching the video wants to get anything of the sort at Teddy Bear Pins, we'll get you sorted with them. And whereabouts did you get the photo for? What was that place called?
It's a special place, mate. It's a special place. I actually didn't normally joke. I got it off Amazon. I got it off Amazon, mate.
Right.
I just going on Amazon.
But I've got this hoodie on as well, actually. This is the 55 Champions hoodie from it's actually every other Saturday as well, the brand is called. So follow them on Instagram. It's at EO 1872, EAOS 72 or something like that. I'll put it in the description of the YouTube video. But good hoodie. It's nice to wear it about where we live anyway. None of these are sponsors as well, by the way. Just showing off some obviously great
just
small businesses and people providing good merchandise for all of us supporting Rangers and stuff like that. So get involved with all that kind of stuff.
It's something that obviously me and you've talked about, but I feel like more than any other season, it's important to sort of get this kind of stuff and help people. Well, just help people who are making really cool stuff for the club, like sort of stuff that we can cherish and obviously look back and remember. Do you know what I mean? Like Keymar stolen that belter in Belgium and just all the cool stuff that's coming, the 55 jumpers and that you've got on there. Like for me, it's important to just get that kind of stuff. So as I said, with Robert De Niro in the care home, we can look back and go, that was my team.
Aye. 100%. I agree with what you're saying there. Get involved with everybody. There'll be plenty of people you can find on Twitter, Instagram, whatever you use, that are selling great sort of Rangers 55 merchandise as well as the club as well. Put your money into the club as well for merchandise and stuff like that. So nice wee way to end the episode with that. We'll be back as always with the match reaction on Sunday now to this massive game. I think the nerds will start as I hit stop recording here, but if you enjoyed the episode, share it about if you're listening on Spotify and stuff, and like the video, subscribe to the channel and follow the socials that will be on the screen, and we'll see you for that on Sunday. So cheers.